What's up, RoM Sandboxers? It's your boy Atro here. So I wanted to start a new series, kind of get back into making some videos every now and then. Merc and I had flipped over to Town Hall 9. We've been doing the Clash Cast, predominantly focused on Town Hall 8 based on what we knew. We flipped over to Town Hall 9. There is a steep learning curve. I'm not going to hide the fact that I struggled very, immensely when I first started at Town Hall 9 until you get a lot of your heroes upgraded, and the Archer Queen especially to 5 to 10 to 15, and your golems, your lava hounds. Once you get all those upgraded, you can really start to become effective. But my opinion of Town Hall 9 is that it makes the game so much more complicated. I mean, every single unit in your army has to have a purpose. So you can't just spam dragons like you did at Town Hall 8. You can't even really spam dragons at Town Hall 8 necessarily now because of the second sweeper. A lot of the dynamics have changed with the July update, with the poison spell. Like I said, the second sweeper. That's really changed a lot. So wanted to kind of reboot the Clash Cast series. Be doing some videos solo just based on my attacks. I'm recording on the screen a little bit. And then hopefully you guys can learn something. Hopefully, when you make the transition to Town Hall 9, you'll be a little better. So for this one, just because we did this last war and it was two great examples back-to-back in my mind of actually executing versus the different types of Inferno Towers. So if you're not familiar with Inferno Tower, let's see if I can get this up here. Yes. Use my little drawing tool. It is these little guys right over here. Top and bottom. They're very powerful at Town Hall 10. So what you'll find is no matter what your strategy you thought, even if the base like this is under leveled, the first thing you have to worry about are the Inferno Tower. So when you see the Inferno Tower here, get rid of this, being set to multi, which looks like a little cube, that means it's set to multi-shot, which means it will target 5 different targets when they're in range and do a little bit of damage to each of them continually. The second mode is the single shot Inferno, which does scaling damage. So it starts as a little bit of damage, but as every second goes by, it increases exponentially until at the very end, it's doing thousands of damage per second to your units. So that's really not where you want to be against a single shot. So as you can imagine, what you're going to find when you encounter single shots and multiple Infernos is there's different strategies. So logic would say that you don't want to send a big unit at a single shot Inferno Tower because the value that you're getting from that unit typically is the ability for it to last a long time, to do what's called tanking, which is just take a lot of damage, get out in front, and have all of the defenses shooting at that. If that thing's going to die in 5 seconds, then you just wasted those slots because especially the two main tanks, I'll say the smaller tanks when you're at lower levels are giants. You can get them out in front and bring archers and wizards behind. But predominantly, especially in the Town Hall 9 game and definitely Town Hall 10, golems for the ground and lava hounds for the air. So you want to get those big tanks out in front to take the damage so you can get your wizards, your Valkyries, your witches, all of those very fragile units that can do a lot of damage and be very effective if they stay alive. So what you're going to want to do typically with multi-shot Infernos is that gives you the opportunity to get a couple guys out in front to tank a lot of those, multiple arms or multiple rays of the Inferno Tower, and then you can bring your specialized units behind. So in looking at this base, what I first noticed, and I'll try and draw everything on the screen here so you can see. What I first noticed about this base was the air defenses over here are spread. The air defenses are here, but more importantly, the Inferno Towers are on the opposite sides of the base. This war in particular was our best war by far. It was 83-3. They only took 5 attacks. This clan was dead. I don't know why they even declared war, to be honest with you. They didn't participate. They didn't fill their clan castle. So, great for us. If you did not use this opportunity to get some loot, you really missed out because we were well ahead within the first couple hours. We were up 30 or 40 stars, and there was no chance. So, shame on you if you didn't get it, but if you did get both your attacks in, you definitely made some good loot. But so again, back to this base. I decided to go with a Lavalunian attack, which is lava hounds and balloons. And what I wanted to do was just have enough tanking from the lava hounds to be able to just take some of that damage off of my balloons for the time being. I wanted to focus on this Inferno Tower here early in the raid, and then I wanted to have enough balloons and do enough tanking to where I could kind of start and end down here. I didn't want to split my forces, and the reason I didn't want to do that is because I was already taking up enough spaces with my lava hounds that I wouldn't be able to spread out the lava hounds enough. I was taking 4 lava hounds in this case. So I wanted to end with enough balloons to where even if 5 balloons were getting shot by that bottom Inferno Tower, it wasn't going to matter. I was still going to get there. So I'll kind of go over the plan and I'll show you what I did, and then we'll watch the replay. So bear with me on the technology. This is the first time I'm doing these type of videos. I'll definitely get better and I'll definitely practice. But so in terms of what I'm going to do here, I first decided that instead of attacking the Inferno Tower from this direction, what I figured that would do is if I did that, I would, because lava hounds are going to go from the air defense that they, from one air defense to the next. So in this case, they're going to travel to the corners, to the sides of this base. So rather than have the opportunity of either the lava hounds doing this number and then coming all the way back here, or, let's get rid of that, or just going over straight here and coming back this way, or the worst case scenario would be one goes here, one goes here. What I decided to do was to focus on this air defense first, and then I would be forcing my lava hounds to move in a clockwise direction this way, and then they would kind of move into the center of the base and then come out, and finally where the final defenses are, they would end up. And that's what I wanted. So when you're looking at bases, and especially if you're doing lava hound attacks, make sure you get an idea of which direction you want to go. So my thought was I was going to send a lava hound here and a lava hound here. Now we'll talk about the queen, because the queen is out here on the edge, and if I'm sending balloons in this direction here, this queen's going to come out and start shooting my balloons down. You really have to focus on the Archer Queen early in Town Hall 9 raids, and in this case also a Town Hall 10 raid. So the reason I split my lava hounds, and some people might argue that, hey, I can just drop a hound here and a hound here, they'll go right to this air defense. Yes, that's very true. However, what you're doing is I'm mitigating the risk of air bombs and traps, and I'm not so... the one thing about lava hounds that you want is you want the lava hounds to find the traps, because if the lava hounds find the traps, the balloons don't find the traps. And although the Seeking Air mines, the ones that do the huge amount of damage to one unit, those aren't too bad for balloons because they only kill one, so it's not a big deal. But if they get into if the Seeking Air bomb, which does splash damage, gets onto a group of balloons, you could really injure a lot of your balloons, and a whole pack could go down at once. You definitely don't want that. So rather than send in a lava hound this way and only be able to tackle this area for all the bombs and traps, I decided I wanted to split, not only get all the traps in this direction, but I'm also getting Expo here. This Archer Tower is going to come out, and then I'm also getting this area over here. This is going to come out. This Wizard Tower is going to shoot. So I'm going to have this entire section here shooting at my 2 lava hounds, which allows me to use what are called point defenses for my balloons. So I brought a bunch of balloons, but one thing to mention on balloons is you don't want to spam your balloons almost ever. I mean, there are certain points where you could do a big wall here and the balloons will all come in this way. That's fine for the most part, but again, what I wanted to do with this raid is really called surgical balloons. So when you do a surgical attack, surgery is a fine art where you're doing fine movements. So I wanted to do a surgical attack where I'm only sending a couple of balloons at each of the defenses. So I sent my lava hound in here. I sent my lava hound in here. I'll talk about the queen in a little bit. With my balloons, I wanted to send just a couple balloons here, a couple balloons this way, sorry, and then I sent, I think, 4 balloons here because I wanted to make sure that I got all of these right here. And not to mention, this Archer Tower is going to be shooting out, and the Wizard Tower, although very underleveled, maybe level 2 or 3, it's going to be doing splash damage. So as all 4 of my balloons get hit at one time, it's going to be easier for these air defenses and Archer Towers to take them down. So I sent 4 around here, and then let me show my spell placement. I brought 4 rage spells. So I dropped my rage in this area because I wanted to make sure this entire area, this section of the base, was taken out before I moved on. Then once I did that, my Lava Hound, I'll go back to green here, my Lava Hound, both of them are going to go this direction. So as they do that, they're going to start picking up any other defenses. So Expo, Air Defense, and Inferno Tower. And then I noticed it looked like there was a hole in the base right here. So if there's a hole in the base, that means I can save, let me get rid of this. I can save all the time of sending it from over here, and I can just drop it right in the middle, my Lava Hound that is. So I decided I was going, once both of the Lava Hounds went towards this air defense, so let me draw them here and here, I was going to send another Lava Hound here, and then I was going to drop, let's go to yellow. I was going to drop balloons all in here in a pack. The reason I did drop them in a pack here is because I could immediately take my second rage spell and drop it in here, and then I'm getting all of this increased damage here to take out this, take out this, take out this, take out this, take out this Expo, and then start to move their way here. So what the final thing that I did on this raid, I believe a couple of Lava Hounds got destroyed here. You'll see the lava pups pop. And but I believe at least one Lava Hound started to make its way over here. There were 2 air defenses here, so I saved my last Lava Hound, my Clan Castle Lava Hound, for here. So I wanted to pick up all of these defenses, so I set my last Lava Hound here as this was moving over, and then I took my my balloons. I did like 2 here, a couple here. I did a couple here in a pack. So they're all going to move into this direction at different point defenses, and that's what you want. And if you just think about it logically, when you spam balloons, say you drop 8 balloons in one spot. All those balloons are likely going to target the exact same thing. So you have 8 balloons doing a ton of damage to 1 unit. So you're being very inefficient there, whereas if you have 1 or 2 or even 3 balloons in one spot, you're able to have more spread out DPS, which stands for damage per second, across defensive buildings. So you're able to take out more defensive buildings quicker and using less resources. So I took my last rage, or my third rage spell, dropped it right in this area to rage all these guys because I really had to get rid of these 2. That was key. So not only are my Lava Hounds coming out here going to get all the traps here, likely there may be some traps in this area. It's possible, and my balloons might pick them up. But I'm also going to use this Lava Hound. I'm going to take out all the traps in this area. So I'm really the only thing that's shooting at my balloons are going to be the point defenses and the air defenses and this wizard tower over here. So I'm really minimizing the effect that the traps can have in this base. Now this base was so spread out, who knows where the traps were. But so my Lava Hounds, they clear up. Once they clear up this section of the base here, then they're going to start to move with no air defenses left. They'll target the next point defense. So they're going to come over here. They're going to work their way here. The balloons are going to trail because the balloons also target point defenses. So the balloons are going to be moving in this direction as well, here, here. And then they're going to start to go here. And I saved a couple balloons for the end. Now, this actually hurt me in my second raid that we'll talk about. But for this particular raid, I kept a couple balloons. The reason that I did was because of this air sweeper here. So this air sweeper is pointed at this range. So anything that gets in this range is going to get blown this way by the sweeper. So I took 3 balloons here. I actually dropped them a little bit too late. I should have dropped them a little bit earlier so that this would be down as the rest of the balloons came in, but I would kind of minimize the time that this Inferno Tower over here was shooting. So I dropped my last 3 balloons here to take out this, and then I have my last rage spell right here in this area to kill all of the rest of these point defenses. Once that's done, it's really just a cleanup exercise. The only thing that I needed to worry about before, and I started my raid with this, I left this for the end just because I really wanted to focus on the Inferno Towers, was you really have to figure out what the queen is going to do and where the queen is and take her out. With my balloons coming in this way, the queen is going to start, especially if they get in range, the queen's going to start picking off each balloon out here, and she's going to pick off your entire crew of balloons, and you're going to be left with nothing in this area, so you're going to have no support. So what I decided to do was to bring 1 giant. I didn't really want to use any wall breakers here. I figured since my Barb King was down, and my Barb King is my normal unit that I use to kill the Archer Queen because it does very high DPS. It's much stronger than the Queen in terms of a per hit damage. And it has the rage ability, which gives you the barbarians and it gives you the damage increase. I would much rather use that. However, absent of that, I needed to use my queen to kill this defender's queen. So what I did was I took one giant and I dropped it right in this area. One thing you can also do, let me just mention this. The queen, in the 30 seconds of prep that you have while you're looking at a base, the queen will move in her circle, her little diameter circle. A lot of times, if there's a wall in the way, she will jump the wall in this section, and then as she moves around, she'll move over here, and then she'll jump back. If she jumps, so pay close attention to where she's at. Let's just say, for example, her radius or her diameter was that she would jump out here. Well, rather than me have to do anything fancy to blow up these walls, I can just drop a unit right here, and it will lock onto the queen. Whereas normally, if you drop her in this position right here, she'll be sitting behind two walls. Your unit might not reach her, and your unit will be shooting on this wall right here and not being effective for you. So, keep that in mind and watch how the queen moves around in that attack, that 30 seconds of prep. Use that 30 seconds of prep if you can. So what I did, again, I dropped a giant right here. The queen was probably in this area. The queen locked onto the giant immediately. So then I dropped my archer queen right here, and she locked on, took one shot at this builder hut, but then locked immediately on this queen. Meanwhile, the queen is shooting at the giant. So now I'm shooting and getting full shots at the queen. I lose one giant, and my queen's still alive. So this was a great trade for me in terms of how many units it took me to kill the queen. It was easy because it was on the outside, but so that was the basic plan. So let's see if we can do this here. Let's go to the attack and watch it. I will bring this up. I'll try and get my technology to work here. Let's see. Let's take that away and go to our war log. Oops. Attack on Toby. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this attack, and you can see down here what I took. 3 lava hounds, 1 in the clan castle, which was upgraded to a level 3, which was awesome. 25 balloons, 1 giant, a level 15 archer queen. Now, if you're a new town 09, you won't have a level 15 archer queen. You may only have a level 5. I would suggest trying to get your archer queen to 5 as soon as possible so you get the ability. But a level 5 archer queen would be perfect in the scenario to take on another queen because it's not getting shot. So, and you also have the benefit once you get to level 5 of using the queen's ability, which makes her invisible, gives her high damage increase, and makes archers. So you're going to be able to take out the enemy queen, even if it's a level 20, one-on-one, with you having an ability and it not having an ability. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and watch the attack here. You'll see that I tried to kill the queen first. See how she jumped that wall? She jumped that wall, and right when she did that, I dropped a giant. She jumped another wall, and then I dropped the queen. She took 2 shots and then started shooting at the queen. I knew I had it right there, so I went ahead and dropped my, actually I did drop my, yeah, I dropped my 2 lava hounds, and they started going, and then I dropped my point defense balloons. I guess I dropped 4 in the middle, 2 on the backside. See my archer queen's doing some killing there. So I'm wiping out this entire middle of the base. I did get one of the traps there. Now you see my hound go, my 2 hounds go from the back. These balloons in the middle are starting to move towards the middle of the base, which is why I needed to drop my 2nd hound, my 2nd rage spell, and my 2nd pack of balloons. As you can see now, I have 11 balloons left. One of my hounds just popped. Actually, that's my 2nd hound that just popped. Now that air defense is down, I sent my last hound from the castle. It got 2 traps, and then I sent my balloons there. My balloons soaked up a trap, but that's okay. I dropped my last rage spell to help speed up the balloons. Probably could have had a little bit better placement on that rage spell, but now I still have a lava hound up, tanking all the damage on that air defense, which is exactly what I wanted. I got my pups in the middle working on the town hall, which is lava pups are incredible for. And now you see the Expo starting to shoot. The Expo was shooting. You can see it move at the lava hound, so I'm tanking all of that damage too. I actually missed the queen's ability here, which was bad on me. So, stuff's going on in the raid. I'm watching these balloons, making sure they get there. That was my bad. My last couple balloons come down. I had a little bit bad timing there on the air sweeper, but I was able to have a ton of balloons left to kill that last Inferno tower. As you can see, I didn't even need to use my poison spell here. So we can fast forward the raid. It's now just cleanup. Got pups. Got enough pups at there to do all the rest of the damage. I think I only needed like 2 minutes on total on this attack, and that's a 3-star attack right there. So what you want to notice again with these attacks is that you want to make sure that you have a bunch of tanking on the Inferno towers if possible, if they're set to multi. If they're set to single shot, we'll do another quick video here for the second attack, and I'll show you what I did for the single shots. It's a little bit different strategy, but you know, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you like these types of attacks. I'll try and go back to some Town Hall 9 attacks, but wanted to do this just because we had this most recent war, and it was 2 back good examples. So, you know, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments, or if you know me, let me know in person. That would be great. So for now, this is your boy Atro of RoM Sandbox signing off, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.